What if Cody wins and Damian Priest cashes in and they just strap a freaking rocket to him?
They overturned cars.
Yeah,
Didn't they have to like grease up the light post because they didn't want them climbing it? Someone punched a horse. I don't want any horses getting hurt because of this.
He's not a top search term on Pornhub. I'm guessing.
I thought you were going to say, I can assure you. Like, how do you know?
Assure you. I was absolutely perfect with my predictions for AEW Revolution.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our new episode of You're Mean to Me.
You're just skipping right over it? You're just going right by it?
Starring Christopher Robinson and Antonia Robinson.
If you want, I put out a short. We put out a short on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I made my predictions, and you just kind of goofed off into the
I
camera.
was serious.
Okay, yeah. You watched like 4 matches of the show. And I was right on everything. Picked every single match correctly, even the ending to Sting's final match, where they won and retained, and now the titles had to be vacated. I called that. I called everything. I said I should have put money on the damn show.
Yeah.
And we could have been rich. We could have been. But no, we wouldn't have been rich.
I'm agreeing with you. I don't know. These are all hypotheticals.
You were super impressed, though, right?
Yeah.
As you fell asleep, but like I said, 5 matches in, I think you watched up to the scramble, and you were like, "I'm out."
Yeah. Then I went upstairs and watched The Nanny.
It's 2024.
It's timeless.
Is it? I don't think people look back and go, "Oh man, The Nanny. That's one American sitcom you have to watch." It's like Friends, Seinfeld, The Office. I don't know, maybe Different Strokes. Cheers, Frasier. Yeah, like The Nanny is so far down that list.
Right. You know,
This is now
as a girl from Flushing.
An anti-nanny podcast.
As a girl from Flushing, I love The Nanny.
Speaking of nannies, that's a terrible transition. We'll cut that. The one thing I want to talk about today is, and you're wearing the right shirt for it, the big question on my mind, what if Cody doesn't win at WrestleMania? What if it doesn't happen?
That hurts me right here.
It happened last year.
In my heart.
He didn't win.
I wasn't as invested in the story last year, though.
But everybody thought he was going to. So did him losing help you invest more?
Yeah, because I was kind of thought it was going to happen, and I was like bummed, but it wasn't like heartbreaking because even though I was aware of the story and I was watching a little bit, I'm a lot more invested since then. And I feel like the build-up and all this conversation with The Rock and...
Well, that's the thing.
It's kind of like distracted from the ultimate ending of this, and I do think it'd be very disappointing if it didn't happen.
I can see it not happening.
Okay.
Because they're adding a lot of nonsense to this match now, where this tag match that everybody knows is going to happen, and now The Rock's added that, if they win on Saturday, then they get to do what they want on Sunday. If they lose, then it's, just Cody and Roman one-on-one. We all know that's not happening. We all know they're not going to have a clean one-on-one matchup. We all know that Roman and Rock are winning. And then, of course, the ball in the air here is, will The Rock turn on Roman? And this is all just one big setup for The Rock to help Cody win. But I don't know. I almost wonder if Cody in his head is like, I'm going to take the same route as my father and not ever win the championship. And I'll just be the guy who never won it.
Yeah, but... I don't know. Given how the audience reacted when we thought that he wasn't going to get his main event at WrestleMania with The Rock, I can't see this ending being anything else because there would be a revolution. I would riot in the streets.
You think there'd be a
I do some looting. Get me some more Cody shirts.
Well, it's in Philadelphia. That's the right place to just kind of...
Oh, they love looting.
Just tear that city apart. It's already...
Oh, are we going to get shit for talking shit about Philly? Everybody hates Philly, right?
No one cares about that city.
Okay.
It's a horrible garbage city that...
And I've been there, so I know...
I've been there. Yeah, everybody's been to Philadelphia. It's like, oh, this is where history happened. And then you guys set it on fire at some point and pooped everywhere. And I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's a great show. Also, higher than The Nanny in terms of great sitcoms.
Okay, you know what?
It's been on for like 15 years.
Okay, two things you can't talk shit about. Teresa Giudice and The Nanny.
I don't think that. The Nanny's not a real person.
What do you mean it's not a real
person? It's a character. Fran Drescher is not actually a nanny.
I meant The Nanny the show.
Okay. You put that up there with that's a whole nother podcast.
What?
Teresa Giudice and your love of the nanny. Anyway. There's still talk about Roman and Rock. There's still talk about they're going to do that. Will that match have the same importance if he's lost to Cody? And so yeah, he wants revenge on The Rock. Are we going to sit on that for a year until next Mania? The Rock going to be like, ha, screwed you. Got to go make movies and energy drinks and football leagues. Bye. And then we don't see him till Mania, and Roman's just got to like stew and get a rematch and stuff. Like how does that work? Like, I don't know if they've thought this out past, Cody winning or losing. Because I don't see Cody having a long reign. I mean, do you think Cody's going to hold that belt for 1,000, 1,200 days?
I've been hearing in the interwebs.
You've been hearing?
I've been reading.
Okay.
Seeing. In the interwebs.
I know you don't listen to podcasts.
I don't.
Except for this one.
And this one I do because I want to make sure I don't sound stupid.
How's your hair look? Is it curly enough?
I don't know.
Look in the camera. Is it curly? Okay. What have you heard on the interwebs?
That people are kind of getting tired of these long reigns of people, of title holders.
Like Gunther,
Roman. Like, they want to
Judgment Day's held the belts for a while now, too.
Yeah, they want to see them switch hands more because, I mean, the argument I'm seeing on the internet, and I apologize to whoever I'm not giving credit to, it's a random internet person.
They don't matter.
Yeah, that their argument is that the roster's so stacked, there's so many deserving people that kind of like hoarding these titles has been a little bit unfair, and that they should start like honoring other great wrestlers, like like the Jey Usos, not even just Cody, like the Jey Usos, with his his singles title. And
I agree with that. I mean, and that's we're gonna sorry to cut you off. We're gonna get into something else along these lines in a few minutes.
I couldn't think of something else.
Yeah,
and then I was like, I know there's more wrestlers than Jey Uso.
Good thing I cut you off. Yeah, I feel like in a different time, it'd be Jey Uso and Gunther at Mania, and he tried to win his first title there, and they kind of hot-shotted that match just to further that we're obviously getting Jimmy and Jay at Mania, which has been rumored and planned for some time, which is fine. But I mean, the argument there is it holds more meaning. It's starting to build. Like back in the day, the title reigns were a little longer, and then they got very short, especially the secondary titles. But back to what I was saying, like I can see Cody not winning, and then where does he go from there?
I mean, I guess where does anything go? Like I haven't lived through a time where I was watching wrestling and Roman wasn't the champion, right? Like in the 2 years that I've been more invested. So it's like, what happens to my life when Roman doesn't?
What happens to Roman's life?
Yeah, where does he go? I don't know. Like, what is he if he's not the champion? It's all a lot of questions. It's very.
Does the bloodline just dissolve? They're like, well, that's all for that.
Yeah, like I guess there's a lot more than just like, oh, he has the belt. Like after the minute of after the honeymoon is over, what else is there? Like, what am I waiting for? Right? Like now I'm worried. Like if he wins the belt, what do I live for? Like, I don't know. I
say Cody's champion. They're going to have the celebration, the balloons, the yay, he did it. And then that's the thing. I'm sure if it's a screw job finish to benefit Cody, say The Rock turns on him, all that jazz happens.
Don't give it away.
Don't
give it anything.
Yeah, I'm
Spoiler alert.
I'm Triple H. Oh, hypotheticals. If they go that route, anyway, like Roman immediately has, I want my rematch. You cheated. The Rock screwed me. I'm we're gonna get The Rock someday, another year, wherever the hell WrestleMania is gonna be held. And then do Cody and Roman like feud all summer? I mean, does Roman wrestle more than once every 3 months? Like what happens? So it's like, or if Cody gets screwed, say they win, they do the bloodline rules, The Rock doesn't turn on Roman. And they just beat Cody and that's it. Does Cody, try to get back to it? Does Cody go on to win Money in the Bank? And then he has the opportunity to like surprise Roman. I mean, Damian Priest has been sitting on the Money in the Bank for it's closing in on a year in July, I believe. I mean, do they go that route? Can they still get money? Because I always say the money's in the chase. Can they still make money in the chase? Could they extend it, say, to SummerSlam?
Well, I mean, couldn't they? Let's say, in your theory is correct, and The Rock screws over Roman, and he loses his title to Mr. Rhodes.
So formal. Cody, please.
I don't know him like that.
Mr. Nightmare.
Wouldn't the storyline after that just be like he's going after The Rock now, and like if The Rock wants to stick around, and then they set them up for another big main event at something where like he's going after him now because like out of honor, like you screwed me over, right? You acknowledged me, and then you screwed me over. Like, couldn't that be the story if he lost to Cody? Like,
if Roman lost Cody? Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
That's a potential, like, path, and that's another story, like, that we might be more invested in, right? Like, Rock turned heel, and then he helped, and then I'll definitely still keep watching. Ooh, what's back?
I mean, to help Cody would immediately swing him back.
And then what happens with the bloodline? Are there like allegiances now, like split? Like, what happens? Like, I don't know. This could be a lot. There's a lot that could possibly happen. I don't know. My whole thing with Cody is just like, after you get the title, what happens with you? Like, what am I waiting for?
It's gotta be a rematch.
It's almost like I don't want it to end because I want to keep anticipating.
It's got to be. I see Roman getting. I don't think Cody's reign is going to be long. I think at the most they'll let him hold it through to SummerSlam, and then maybe like he loses back to Roman in another gimmick match. Like maybe they go I mean, him and Seth, Cody and Seth had those 3 matches and it ended with Hell in the Cell and the Torn Pack and all that jazz. But I mean, do they go that route where like the next one is a gimmick match, Cody pulls it off again, maybe there's a break, and then Roman, like kind of takes a break and comes back at SummerSlam and really puts it on the line in like the Hell in the Cell or something else. But then, they get a Money in the Bank winner kind of running around at some point again. I mean, Damian Priest isn't going to hold that title forever. What if Damian Priest cashes in? What if Cody wins and Damian Priest cashes in and they just strap a freaking rocket to him? Like, oh.
I don't think that's going to happen.
All right.
I don't see that in the cards. I can't imagine them doing that. Like, we got so mad as a community, as Cody Crybabies, about The Rock coming
as
in and taking his spot.
I
mean, they would burn down buildings if
I think
Damian Priest came in and took the title right away.
I think this WrestleMania ends in a good old Philly riot. Like, I think that city goes down in flames.
I know this is something we should joke about. I mean, a very sensitive topic of rioting in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Long
but
history.
over sports, though. Like, when the Eagles won, wasn't there...
They overturned cars.
Yeah,
Didn't they have to, grease up the light post because they didn't want them climbing it? Someone punched a horse. I don't want any horses getting hurt because of this.
I kind of want to see a horse get punched if Cody loses. Or if Cody... that's the kind of city Philadelphia is. They're a bunch of horse punchers over sports. And in this case, predetermined sports.
I'm glad we only have 20 listeners because I really would hope nobody from Philly is listening to us.
No one from Philly listens to this show. I can look at the analytics on YouTube and assure you. What if they had held it last year in Philly? I mean, the LA crowd was like, oh, nuts, back to our lives. Like in our sun-soaked lives at the beach. Like Philly might have broken down. Just,
no, because I don't think it was the same. I mean, it was upsetting and disappointing, but now we're 2 years invested in the story, right? So it's different.
I'm not. No. Yeah.
Oh, you don't care. That's right.
No, I care very much. It has. I'm tired. I'm just tired of the phrase "finish the story." I don't ever want to hear that phrase. That's the main reason I want Cody to win. I want him to fulfill his destiny, to do what his father never did, and everything. Part 2 of the documentary will have a happy ending. Yay, Cody did it. He's so blonde and wonderful. But I never want to hear that again because that's the end of the story. That's the end of the finish the story. It's over. Shut up with that phrase. Don't use the words. It should be a banned word on WWE programming. Like, you can't say that word. You'll be fined, suspended. No more finishing stories. No one else has stories.
Just add to the list of things that irritate you.
It's number 1 with a bullet when it comes to wrestling right now. And I think that goes for a lot of people.
Okay.
I'm tired of it. I'm putting my foot down. Can you hear that microphone? It's my foot going down. All right. Let's shift gears. Something you kind of brought up, and that's title reigns.
Right.
And something, I think, where did it come from? We saw it. I think we said it, or somebody said it. I saw comments on Instagram. I forget what it was about secondary titles
for ladies,
for women in WWE. I forget where it stemmed from. Did I say it in a clip, or somebody debated me on Instagram? I think I tweeted something or did like Instagram story about something. And it was like, should WWE have secondary women's titles, like the Intercontinental and United States Championships, but for women? And you were like, yeah, they should. And I was like, that's my impersonation. Yeah, they should. Curly hair. And
I guess it's better than your Beaker impression of me.
Yeah, most of the time you sound like Beaker.
Okay.
If you ever, I'm going to get you a Beaker wig for Halloween, a high orange hair. That's besides the point. You're pulling me off track here.
Well, get to your point.
Because AEW has so many titles. I love AEW. I agree. There are so many titles. There's ROH titles that they sometimes defend on the shows, which I think is crazy. Keep those separate.
I mean, wasn't every single one of those matches at Revolution, except for the 8-man scramble?
No.
A title thing?
No. FTR versus Blackpool Combat Club wasn't for a title.
But there were a lot of titles.
There was a lot of titles.
It was still more than I anticipated. I was like, oh, there's 6 titles? 5 titles?
TNT, Continental Crown, Women's, Tag Team, I mean, the Trios title, World title, International title. There were a lot, and I feel like it's a little much for AEW. I will admit that even as an AEW fan. So I don't know, and I'll get your opinion to start, and I'll jump in. Do you think that 2 more titles added to the women's division WWE would gum up the works? Would it be too much?
Can you list the titles that are currently in circulation?
A total of everybody?
Yeah. Well, a total of the women's. Like those, so there's the
There's
two.
three. There's three, and if you count the NXT title as a fourth, there's the women's world title, women's WWE championship, tag titles, and then the NXT women's championship, which is not defended on.
And the tag titles migrate.
Tag titles can go anywhere. They can go. There used to be two separate tag titles. There was one NXT. They merged them. Now they go everywhere. And they're being defended. We're recording this on a Tuesday. They're being defended tonight on NXT.
So, and the men have the Seth Rollins title, the Roman Reigns title, the Gunther title, the Logan Paul title.
Yes, that's their official names, and one set of tag titles because they merged those two.
So why can't the women just have two more titles? What is your argument against it? What is it coming up? I think there's a lot of great women, and it's two more titles. It's not like they have to like create better. Like I don't understand.
I don't think there's as many women segments on the show overall right now. There's probably.
But then it gives them more segments, right? Now you want to highlight more women and like put more women over, and now you have two titles to do that with, right? Like, is it because there's only 3 titles that you're not showcasing the women as much because there's not that much fighting that you're fighting for? Like, if you have 2 more titles, and you take right now, like you got Liv Morgan and who came back, and you got Naomi, and everybody's kind of mad she's not being utilized right, or they felt bad because like her match was short last time. You have Stratton right there. You could put a belt on a lot of these women, and then have some of the up and coming and then the NXT people coming up and all this other stuff. Start vying for these titles. I don't understand.
Well, that's originally what the IC title and the US title did. They're kind of like the quote unquote mid card titles, but they would be used to elevate people. I mean, all the greats have held the Intercontinental title in WWE. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H. Like everybody kind of held that.
So what
title.
you're saying is you're really just sexist.
No, what I'm saying is I feel like there's so much importance placed on the women's main championships, the top belts. That's what people go for to elevate, and that I don't know if there's enough like non-main event like high mid-card talent. Like, will it elevate people? I mean, you look at what AEW did with Jade Cargill. She was the first and only TBS champion for a long time, and then she lost to Chris Statlander, and then she left the company, and now. Statlander lost it to Julia Hart, and now she's held it for a while, and it's just kind of sitting there, and it's like, okay, like, it's not really building her up. They're kind of like, it's plateaued, and I'm wondering if WWE's going to have the thing where they just kind of plateau somebody at, the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Like, Liv Morgan wins that, and then it's like, okay, now what? Like, she doesn't want to go with the women's title anymore? Like, does it almost degrade the women's championships? Like, because I don't feel the roster of women is that.
So your issues with the roster of women?
I don't think there's enough. Yeah, I don't think there's enough people to warrant it. I don't think they're going to get enough time in between everything else WWE spends time with right now. I mean, there's a bunch of men's feuds that don't have titles involved because they're just stories and this and that. I don't think there's enough time. They're not going to dedicate time to it, and you probably get more people just like, oh, we got to build up contenders for this. You got matches to build up contenders. Then you got the title matches. That's segments. And you have matches to build up contenders for the women's champion, and the women has to defend that champion. Like, then they got the tag champions. Like, I think I can see it getting more women lost in the shuffle than improving their status and moving them up the card.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree.
Like you said, Liv Morgan. Like who else? Who would benefit from? Say, we'll just use the Intercontinental title. Who would benefit from an Intercontinental title right now? Like if Naomi had come back and won the women's Intercontinental title, like, yeah, Naomi's back. But instead she's come back. She was in the Rumble. She lost in the Chamber. She just lost Tiffany Stratton. Like, she came back and she's already not there. They're pushing Tiffany Stratton, who just came up from NXT, and like Naomi's not getting that push. I mean, do you see Nia Jax? She wants the women's title. All of a sudden, does she turn around and want like the women's U.S. title? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's almost like they're creating a step down for some of the women, or just like a caveat. Like, well, we're not going to give you the world title because you're not on that like Becky, Bayley, Rhea Ripley level, and we're not going to put you there for a while. So here, hold this like, keep the seat warm title.
I'm not argue that point. I mean,
yes, that means I'm right.
I think there's women who can benefit from it. You have, what's that one with the hair?
The one with the hair. The one woman with the hair on the WWE roster.
She comes out with
Bianca Belair.
No, first of all, I know Bianca Belair. I'm not that out of touch.
Okay.
The one who comes out with Shayna.
Oh, Zoe Stark.
Thank you. I was gonna say.
You
Zoe.
think she would benefit from a
No, but I'm just saying there's other women out there. There's her, Shayna. There's Ivy.
Ivy Nile.
Yeah, then there's...
You're going to throw a title on...
Val Kilmer's out there.
Val Kilmer, yeah. You're going to throw one on Maxine Dupree, give her
I'm just saying they could vie for it, and then, like, you can give them, like, some storylines that are better than just coming out and, like, wrestling the same two people all the time. I don't know.
So I feel like they put a lot of effort into the tag. Like there's a lot of effort put into the tag division, and then they like they'll like split people up, and that starts a feud, and then that pushes people up the card. But I don't know. I feel like still. I mean, people talk about AEW, the women's division, how weakly it was booked the last few months. I think it's getting better. I think the WWE is a little weaker on the women's side right now, outside of the main event. I mean, the main event picture on Raw is pretty much a Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, like three-way. It keeps going around and around and around. SmackDown's just Bayley and Io Sky. There's nobody else even really coming close to that belt. So, I mean, but I mean, in a sense, I mean, Logan Paul's not around all the time. And they've got a belt on him. Eventually he'll lose it. It'll probably be on somebody who's more full-time. But again, I just see it getting lost in the shuffle and not being able to bring it to a level of importance or have it be the springboard to the main event or the next level that the men's titles have been.
Okay.
You got nothing on that?
I don't know. I don't see how it could hurt. I think that the women are great. I don't know. I think that they're good. I think that I don't know. I don't see any downside to it. You make it seem like there's such a downside to it, but the women,
I think it'd be less time.
Don't get showcased enough. I feel like, or that their matches seem less important. I think adding a belt and creating more drama around that would make them more entertaining. People would want to watch them more.
There's always also been a call for maybe like a women's only show.
No, we're not doing that.
No, you wouldn't watch a show like an hour-long show that's just dedicated to the women for either company.
I don't like that idea. No.
No, why?
Because it seems like they only get the spotlight if the men aren't there, and I don't like what's message that's sending.
I mean, what if they taped like the first hour of Raw or something, or they taped an hour before Raw? It was like just 3 matches that were just all women, and it was like a special like Peacock exclusive show or something like that.
Because it sends a message like, you can't hang with us. You need your own spotlight. You need your own segment.
Or it sends the message that you deserve your own spotlight. We want to put more focus on you.
Do that within the 3 hours you have on Monday and the 2 hours you have on Friday.
Those women would still wrestle on Raw and SmackDown and whatnot, but just like there'd be that extra time to build up storylines, and they could show clips and everything.
Or just tell The Rock not to take 40 minutes next time.
Well, yeah,
I mean, there's plenty of ways to do this. Like, I get it.
You leave Diarrhea Dwayne alone. The best nickname Seth Rollins could come up with.
It's great. I think it's great. Imaginative
Is
and
it?
amazing. Poetic even.
So we got the Cody Crybabies versus the Diarrhea Rock.
I mean, it's just nonsense.
Yes,
All
wrestling
nonsense.
is nonsense. Remember that, kids. Wrestling is nonsense. All right, I guess we have to talk about reality. I think the most insane thing this week was our old buddy, our old pal, friend of the show. No, we don't know her. Rachel Raquel, Don't Call Me Raquel Levis, suing Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix over what she's calling revenge porn. Like, acting as though the two of them took some sort of like dirty FaceTime video that Tom had and like spread it all over the internet. I don't think it exists out there. I've never heard of this video before. So how can you sue someone for something that no one's seen?
I mean, I think she has a leg to stand on with Tom Sandoval, because like he apparently, according to her, recorded that without her consent.
Great.
So that might be something she can go after him for. According to her, and I think this is what I read, Ariana screenshotted that and sent it to her saying, "You're dead to me."
Yeah, that's how she found out that they were cheating.
Yeah. So my understanding is she might call that distributing it, because she sent it to the person in the video, which I don't know if that's going to make sense.
That's
but
not how that works.
Even Ariana said like she saw all of 5 seconds of it. She didn't need to see more. She wasn't looking into it too much, and she didn't care about it afterwards.
Revenge porn would be like if he took that video and put it up on social media or Pornhub or some other like.
I mean,
porn
distributing it and give it to anybody else,
that
even if it's
happen.
not on like a social media platform, it's still revenge porn. Like, it's still inappropriate to do that. But no,
didn't give it to anybody else.
From our understanding, from what people are saying, she hasn't said who they sent it to, so it seems like she's not clear on this either, that they distributed it, and they're both denying that happened. It's a matter of she just found it on his phone, and it just was what it was.
If that had been distributed, if that would have hit the internet so fast in the wake of Scandival, where everybody and their mother wanted more info, everybody was waiting for that reunion special. If there was a video out there of any length, 5 seconds or more, of her doing anything, R-rated, X-rated, everybody would have seen it. It would have gone anyway. So if she sent it to somebody privately, okay, yeah, that's still not right. But I'm like, to me, revenge porn is like, I'm going to get back at you and show the world with my reach as a reality show person and my social media. Like, I'm going to show the world this thing that you gave to Tom or you sent to Tom. Like, I think it's ridiculous. I said on Instagram in a comment from our official You're Mean to Me account, I said, she's doing this for attention for her podcast. She started a podcast. She has a podcast now that she does. She's not on the show anymore. She needs to stay in the headlines. She needs people to still be Googling her and searching for her. And this was a way to do that. This was the way to get back on TMZ and in the zeitgeist and on social media and get trending and all that shit again for a week or two so she could get more followers on her podcast. And it's going to go nowhere. She knows she doesn't have a leg to stand on. This is a promotional tactic.
This isn't her first foray into like bullshit lawsuits. I mean, after all the news broke and her and Sheena had an incident, she claimed Sheena physically assaulted her and had like a restraining order against her. And then when they finally had it go to court, she never showed up to court. Because as far as she was concerned, she was dismissing it. And it's like, this is nonsense, right? Like,
right.
Stop taking up time in the court with something you know probably won't go anywhere.
Right.
And listen, I feel bad for you. Listen, I, as a woman, would feel horrible if I thought that there was something private with me and a person I trusted, and he recorded it or took a photo of it without my consent.
Right.
So I agree that is upsetting. Tom is a dirtbag, but we knew he was a dirtbag. I don't think anybody has a different opinion at this point.
Well established.
Yes. So I'm not trying to downplay like the invasion of privacy on the half of Tom Sandoval. What he did was ridiculously uncomfortable.
But if he kept it for himself, great. Yeah, that's wrong. But he didn't distribute it. No one saw it. That's
what I'm saying. That would be the only thing.
Bullshit.
But like, so I think the issue here is the use of the term revenge porn. I think she can sue him and say, you, without my consent, took an intimate video of me, and that maybe might be a lawsuit. I don't know what that would be. But I would, if someone did it to me, I would look for avenues to sue them.
If she sent it to, she
didn't send it to him.
It was a live Facebook. It was a
FaceTime, and he recorded it. So
okay.
There was nothing sent to him.
Okay, but that to me, saying you're going to see me in video, that's her consenting to him seeing it. If he saved it, that's not illegal.
Well, if you're recording it.
That's not illegal. Not illegal to record things on your phone. You're recording things. Okay, he didn't tell her he was recording it. Great.
Yes. Yeah, that would be a shitty thing to do. I'm sorry.
But how would she ever have known unless Ariana had like shown like, oh, he has recording it, but not distributed.
I wouldn't want you to have that on your phone in the event that something like this does happen, right? Like, people's phones get hacked all the time. I don't know you have that on your phone. Next thing you know, you lose your phone gets hacked, or you mistakenly sent it to someone by mistake, and now that's out there without my consent, without my knowledge. What if this had popped up? You know what? She's lucky it was Ariana who saw it first, because what if this had popped up and she found out about it because it did hit TMZ or it hit the airwaves somewhere? Because
then she's got a lawsuit.
Right. So she has every right to be upset at Tom for having this video in her phone that she never agreed to him having.
That's not an argument. You can't sue somebody for being upset at him.
But if you did you can sue someone for doing something without your consent.
I'm just saying there's no proof. If it was out there in the internet and everybody was seeing it, yeah, she's got a lawsuit. If she's mad at him because he kept it and one other person saw it and they were cheating, like.
But if it's without her consent,
doesn't matter.
He shouldn't have recorded it in the first place.
That's a gray area. Are there FaceTime recording laws?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know what the laws are. So if like I said, if this had happened to me and someone had recorded an intimate video of me and I didn't know about it,
Let's
and I found
see
out
the
about
video.
And I found out. No, don't be a perv.
I need to know. I don't want to see.
If I had found out about it, right, I would, like I said, I would pursue any avenue of legally that I could. And she's just doing that. But I think she's just hurting her argument by including Ariana in it. And I don't know why she's including Ariana in it. She didn't do anything to her.
Right. She didn't include Ariana, and Bravo was named in it, but they're not, she's not suing Bravo, which seems to be something people are doing a lot of these days. But that's another episode.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So we got really heated. You had like no opinion about the women's belts. You're like, I think it's cool, but revenge porn, that got you going.
Listen, as a woman, this is an issue that usually affects us more than anybody else.
Right. Yeah. No, I hope there's no Tom Sandoval porn out there.
And the thing is, nobody's looking for that. Right?
No,
even if there was, people the searches on that would go down.
He's not a top search term on Pornhub. I'm guessing.
I thought you were going to say, I can assure you. Like, how do you know?
I'm sure you.
That's weird. You're making this weird.
That's weird. I made it weird. That's another podcast.
We should have a podcast called You Made This Weird.
No, there's already one that exists.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think Pete Holmes, stand-up comedian. He had a show for a little while after Conan. Yeah, his podcast. You Made It Weird. Great. It's a great podcast.
I'm sure it is.
All right. So, I mean, I want to talk a little bit about, we'll mention it briefly before we go, Real Housewives of New Jersey. May 5th.
These people are making me wait.
It's not an official announcement, but we saw it on a couple of blogs on Instagram and whatnot.
May 5th.
May 5th. They're going to have a big party. Alone. Oh, no. We'll probably be talking about that show a lot on this podcast when it comes back. That's probably the one I'm most knowledgeable about. I've watched the last, 2 seasons with you, I think now?
Yeah, though you did like the Miami reunion.
The Miami was all right. It feels like they're just rehashing a bunch of stuff that...
That's what the reunions do.
Yeah, but like stuff I don't care about. Like they're just kind of like rehashing. It's like a recap.
You are enjoying the Marcus Jordan interjections.
Yeah. Marcus Jordan just sitting in the green room waiting like, oh, no, she didn't. Or like whatever. He's like, oh, I don't believe that. Oh, why are you playing it? Like he's just throwing out like random nonsense comments. And it's like, I don't know. That guy, he's weird. He's a weird dude.
Yeah.
There's something off there with him. And I follow him on Instagram now. And it's just pretty much him taking pictures and videos of food and his dad's shoes, his dad's shoe line. That's it. That's his life. He's got millions of dollars in his bank account. He had a hot girlfriend. I don't know if they're still together, but that's about it. You look at me because I called Larsa hot.
Oh, no. Do you think she's hot?
No, she's too old. I mean, for him, like he thinks he has a hot girlfriend.
Okay.
He's got his dad's shoes, his dad's money. And he just goes and eats lots of nice food. Good for him. He's living that life. But he's a weird dude. You clenching your fist? What do you do?
No, I'm just trying to
All right. This show is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's also on YouTube Music. Google Podcasts is becoming YouTube Music. So if you want to just listen to it and you for some reason don't like Apple or Spotify, there's YouTube Music. Make sure you subscribe, thumbs up. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about, A, do you think Cody's definitely going to win? Is it a foregone conclusion? And B, should the WWE have mid-card championships for the women or subtitles? I don't know what you call it. I hate mid-card championships. That's stupid because I feel like if you're a champion, like in anything, like you matter. You're up there, you're in the spotlight. So.
And see how excited you are about the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yes, on a scale of 1 to going to jail. Or a scale of 1 to throwing a table. How excited are you?
It's an iconic moment.
Is it?
It defined.
People flip tables and put things through tables in wrestling all the time. It doesn't really excite me. This could happen in a fancy restaurant that you've probably been to or you'd like to go to.
First episode will feature one of our favorite date night restaurants.
This is true.
In Cranford, New Jersey.
Yep.
The Vine and Oak.
The Vine and Oak. Very nice restaurant.
It is, and they were there. They had Jennifer's birthday there.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us what they had to eat. I'm like, you know what they ate?
No, they did a full buyout, and they had all the tables out. So
right. They had a birthday party there for who? For Jennifer?
Jennifer, the other Jennifer.
The other Jennifer.
Not Aiden. I forgot her last name.
Another one. Anyway, it's
Jen Fessler.
Right.
That's where we had our wedding. What is it?
Like pre-wedding.
Oh, we had like a rehearsal brunch there.
Yes.
I did that on purpose because I wanted to have an event at a New Jersey house.
At the Vine and Oak, yeah. So now we have to go there every weekend just to see if they're there. No, it's rather expensive.
We have to frequent Rails more often because they be going to Rails all the time. We went to Rails once. We need to go again.
It's way up north. That's a bit of a trek. Maybe that's a special occasion place. But yeah, we got to find other places. We got to find other places to go to. You want to create like a map of places in New Jersey.
Yeah.
All right. Follow us on Twitter or X, whatever, Instagram. We're on TikTok now, Threads, everywhere. We're posting more stuff when I have the time, and when Tony sends me stuff, I post that too. So thank you for listening. Tony did the intros this week. It's crazy. I'm gonna do the outro.
I was trying to interrupt your stupid brag.
It's a great brag. It's got like 3,000 views on TikTok.
Or maybe it just goes to show you how predictable AEW is in their booking.